Okay.
Here we go. We're back.
It's been an exciting season so far. Welcome to Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground. This is season 4, episode
7.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Schwaller, you're keeping track of
I'm
them.
keeping track.
And what is Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground, Mark? Explain it to us, please.
It's so many different things, but what it really comes down to is we're going to let you know what we think about things, what we think about the news, what we think about TV or streaming, what we think about music. We are going to let you know what's good, what's not good, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a 50,000-foot view.
It
if
is.
you want.
Yeah.
So what do we do on Off the Grid? Well, we talk about things like news. So we have Not Your Mama's News. These are things that, you may want to pay attention to. We have lists. They're really the only lists that matter. We're going to go over those.
Mm-hmm.
We talk a little bit about music, who our favorite or least favorite musician is, or just somebody who in general pisses us off.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we like to talk about things that embarrass us.
We do.
And once in a while, when we're sitting around drinking a beer or a Gatorade or a TJ's water, we talk about how much money it would take for us to do something really, really stupid.
Yes.
And we've got one of those here today.
Mm-hmm.
This one's kind of strange. I don't know that I'd ever be offered this, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But first, I want to tell you that you can subscribe to Off the Grid Uncommon Ground on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. And of course, we have our YouTube channel. We have our Facebook page. It's all Off the Grid Uncommon Ground. You can find us there. Subscribe, leave a review. We'd really, really love that. And we're in season 4 now. We're getting near the end. And at this point, at this time, while we're taping and recording this show, it's kind of near the holidays. So there might be a little holiday vibe in
There
this.
might be a holiday theme going
There
on.
might be a holiday theme.
'Tis the season.
But the first thing we want to get to tonight is
Not Your Mama's News.
Yes. So what is Not Your Mama's News? Not Your Mama's News. These are headlines that we find that, we like to think that they actually mean something. It's not your mama's news. Back in the 70s, back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the news, well, you want to finish this out, Schwab?
Yeah, it was war. It was poverty. It was volcanic eruptions. It was just the basic stuff. We like to go out a little bit further off the grid, per se, and find news stories that are just actually a lot more interesting.
Yes.
So,
yes.
This is not the kind of stuff that would be gone over by Tom Brokaw.
No.
Or Dan Rather.
No.
Or Walter Cronkite.
Right.
This is news courtesy the Grand Schwalbini and the technical director.
You got it. You got it.
All right, who's starting us off today?
You're going to start us off, Mark. This is your this is your headline for Not Your Mama's News, and maybe you want to tell us what we're looking at there, so everybody listening can see it in their mind.
Yes, we are looking at a doll dressed in pajamas that's named Norman.
Pretty snappy.
Yeah, pretty snappy looking little doll.
Yep.
Now, if you've watched or listened to many of our previous telecasts, you'll find out that I am a little bit obsessed with people that are obsessed with demonic dolls.
Yes.
So I found another one. And
you're also obsessed with shaking your legs and shaking your camera.
That is true. Okay, I am sorry. I apologize.
Are you getting a little anxious about this? I mean, is the doll scaring you right now?
Well, I get a little nervous when I'm talking about demonic dolls.
I mean, first of all, the eyes in that doll are staring off into the future. And I don't know, is that a doll in the mirror, or is that a mirror? I mean, isn't that strange? It's a strange looking picture.
Well, it's a strange looking picture, and the title is Mom Buys Possessed Doll in UK, and what ensues is beyond creepy.
Okay, so I'm guessing we're going to find out what ensues.
We're going to find out what ensues.
All right.
So,
Norman is the name of the doll again?
Norman is the name of the doll.
And it says Mom Buys Most Possessed Doll in the UK. So
yes,
this doll is possessed.
So this doll essentially is believed to be cursed. Okay. It was originally owned by Christian Hawksworth.
Nice British name.
Yes, who bought the doll for about $4 in an antique store. He then went on to suffer an exploding appendix.
Oh, wow.
He got shot.
Oh, God.
He had car trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his salary slashed in half.
Okay.
So doll did not bring much good luck.
No.
So, obviously he tries to get rid of the doll. And a nice lady named Candace Collins, 42, purchased the doll on eBay for $260.
Ooh, well, the doll brought him a little luck there.
Yeah. Added it to her haunted doll collection.
Oh, good.
She says, as soon as I opened the box, the room went freezing cold and a heavy depression filled the air. I knew there was definitely something attached to this doll.
Right.
Concerned, she put him in a glass box with some holy water.
Oh.
She said that Norman fills my bones with dread. Okay. She started having nightmares where she wakes up in panic. She feels as if she's being attacked by an unseen figure. She's felt her hand be bitten during the night and has heard an evil voice call her name in her sleep.
Okay.
So, even more terrifying, she said that her 3-year-old son has been found speaking with the toy. And the toy basically he just like starts laughing. And this has also been coupled with she's since gotten arthritis.
Good God.
Headaches, random bruises that come up on her body for no reason. She's got a scratch on her back that looks like deep claw marks.
Oh, God.
And her partner, Nick, needs a hip replacement that has taken a turn for the worse. So the misfortunes of Norman seem to be spreading. But at the same time, this lady, Candace, she seems to be more a healer. She wants to heal the doll. Oh. She wants to use crystals, holy water, anything she can to, bring better life and, what comes with it from the doll. So she's at her wit's end, but she's still trying to ward off the evil spirit.
I think she should work on healing herself first. Yeah. And maybe that would entail like putting the doll in a dumpster and lighting it on fire. That's what I would do.
Well, it seems like there is a lot of negativity that's come from owning Norman.
A lot. How about a ton?
Yeah. So,
well, the first guy with the car trouble and maybe his salary getting, but when you throw on a bursting appendix, right. Whatever that other thing was that happened to him, right. That's tough, but then you sell the doll and the doll kind of tried to make up for it because the spirits allowed you to sell it for basically, I don't know, 1,000% more or whatever, 800% more than what you bought it for. And this poor lady picks up the doll. Now, she had a room full of haunted dolls to begin with.
Right.
I guess none of them were haunted.
Maybe they could be a bad influence.
Yes, that's probably peer pressure.
So
let's see what you can do, Norman.
Either way, I don't think this Candace lady is making good decisions.
It doesn't sound like it.
It seems like there could be better things to do with her money than buy haunted dolls.
And then crystals and holy water and all that other shit to fix it up.
So, obviously the woman's got problems, but, hey, warning, don't buy demonic haunted dolls.
You got that right. That is.
Can only end.
Okay. All right. So there's another headline out there I think is very important.
Okay.
And this is one that I found. Not only is it important, but it's actually kind of humorous. I'm going to try to pull it up here. This was a story on Fox a while ago. Foreign objects stuck in people's bodies, believe it or not, were the ninth leading cause of unintentional injuries that led to emergency room visits in 2021.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, foreign objects stuck in people's bodies.
A lot of deviant sexual behavior.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing about this. So I obviously I took some notes from this. Among these foreign objects that led to, now you have to understand, led to emergency room visits. So this is documented issues.
Right.
Okay. There were 278,000 documented emergency visits.
But there's that many dumb people in the world.
Yeah, at least.
Right.
And I count myself most days.
Sure.
Probably amongst those 278, but I
count you, not me, though.
Yeah, right. Thanks. 278,000, more than 50%, right around 50% are sex toys.
Okay.
So things that are designed
right
in one way or another
to
go in. Right.
I see. And then they get stuck in.
Yeah. And then they get stuck. Right. Which is, whatever. But among the things that are not sex objects are magnets, chargers, phone chargers.
How the hell do you eat a phone charger?
I don't know. But you don't have to eat a phone charger. There's other places to
stick
put
it up
in
your bum.
Yeah, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Lollipop. Well, if you stick a phone charger in your bum, is it then considered a sex toy? Can they change?
I would think that would be considered a sex toy.
I mean,
why else would you be doing it? I mean, you're not trying to see if you can get electricity from your inside, are you?
I don't know. Lollipops, orange peels.
Interesting.
Seriously, orange peels. So there was a case of a 10-year-old who stuck a battery up his nose. He had a nasal blockage and they couldn't figure out what it was, and neither could the doctor. And finally, the doctor figured out that there was a battery in his nose.
Like nobody else could figure that out.
No. And you don't think he could, say he was 10. Was he deaf, dumb, and blind?
It sounds
what I mean? Like, what's wrong? Well, I did stick a battery in my nose.
Right.
Too embarrassed?
Yes, he was.
Among the things stuck in people's ears that caused emergency room visits, cufflinks, tissue, a plastic sword. Now, remember, ear, and a battleship game piece. Like,
you stuck my battleship, damn it.
Bang.
And then you just
the ear.
swallow it?
Yeah, no, these are ears.
Those are ears. Okay.
Shoe glue and lighter fluid. Ooh. Now, the lighter fluid one.
That's dangerous.
I could see that at a college party.
Maybe somebody who's trying to set somebody on fire.
Or let's see what happens.
See what fire comes out a hole.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Items stuck in the nose, gum wrappers, magnets, rice, candy hearts, which we used to do in elementary school, but they get stuck and you got to go to the emergency.
Right.
Yarn, jewels, gummy worms, flowers, cheese, popcorn, and also glue. Glue seems to be a popular one. That was in the nose.
I don't know why cheese and popcorn would count, though.
I don't know.
And I mean, that's stuff that you should eat.
No. These are getting stuck in the nose.
Oh, this is the nose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pay attention. All
right. I'm a little off my game. We went
ears, nose. Now I'm going to mouth.
Okay.
Swallowing. A steak knife.
Somebody wanted to die, maybe. I don't know. This one caused me pause. Small flashlight. Just down the hatch.
Down the hatch. Yeah. I mean, did you have a stomach ache? Were you trying to find out why?
Right. Did they want to see what the intestines look like? Did they hook up a camera to it?
Yeah. Open wide. Oops, I dropped it in. Glue stick.
Yeah, it seems like something that would be bad to put down your mouth.
Yeah. Pet toys. I wonder why the dog thinks this tastes so good.
Yeah, well, the toy is for the pet, not the person.
Here's one that leads that. Now, remember, these are swallowing. Okay. This is a very broad category.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what this means. Office supplies. I mean, fax machine? What are office supplies?
Well, it could
paper clips,
right. Thumbtack, staple.
I'm looking around the studio here, my readers. Is that considered office supplies?
I don't know.
My notebook?
I don't know. It's a bunch of weird people.
Yep. Keys and darts. And then, of course, there's the all-knowing, the all-powerful, the all exciting genitalia category.
Okay.
Which we don't even have to describe that. Sure. We all know what we mean by if you're sticking something in your genitalia.
Right.
There's only a couple places it can go, male or female.
In your yaya.
So for men, or your pee-pee. For men, the most popular items that led to them going to the emergency room were paper clips. That makes me hurt.
Yes.
Coins. Car keys. And here it is, cell phone chargers. For women,
this is going up to the JJ.
It's for women, so you've got a JJ and a bum.
Okay,
flashlight, Like, are you at the gynecologist? Is that an oops?
Maybe it was like a guy trying to figure out where to put it in.
I have no idea. Flashlight. Drinking cup.
A cup?
What the hell? Drinking cup?
Maybe she's trying to get a urine sample. Got a little too close.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe using it as like a reverse sponge.
Maybe.
Maybe I can stop your little guys from getting up there.
The swimmers.
Oops, it's stuck. I got to go to the emergency room. Golf ball, which is like the standard.
Right, sure.
Spatula. And this one is kind of open-ended because it could mean one of two things. Drumstick. It didn't specify like,
it could be a drummer's stick.
Right. Or a turkey.
Or it could be a turkey leg.
But, like I said, the emergency room, that's what they're there for. They're supposed to take care of you when you do stupid things to yourself. I'm sure they get a heck of a laugh out of that whenever they come. So that is Not Your Mama's News for this episode, Season 4, Episode 7. Foreign objects stuck in people's bodies were the 9th leading cause of unintentional injuries that led to emergency room visits in 2021, according to data from the CDC. I'd be interested in seeing what happens in 2022, 2023, given that it is now currently 2024. It takes a little while for them to get all the statistics sorted out. And boy, would it be fun to be the people compiling those statistics.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, an alligator.
Right.
So subscribe to Off the Grid, the podcast. If you're listening to us, thanks so much. Leave us a review on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Moving on to the second thing in our list of things that are off the grid and uncommon ground. We call it uncommon ground because Mark and I don't always agree on everything.
Well, that's right.
In case you wonder.
That's right.
Actually, I think we rarely agree on anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We might agree a little bit on this week's list.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. These are the only lists that matter. And what does that mean, Mark?
It basically means, when you go on the internet, you can find a list for everything. Top 5, 10, 15, 50, top 100 lists for anything. And most of the time, those lists pretty much stink. I was looking for a list the other day. It was like, hey, top 5 streaming movies.
Right.
And it was naming movies from years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do I have to make it so exact? New movies?
Yeah. And what does new movie mean? Because to me, a new movie is a movie I haven't seen yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just so darn frustrating. The good news is that we know how to make lists.
Yes.
Ours are the only ones that matter. Henceforth, they're good lists that you can use and you can apply to your daily life.
That's right. And it'll help you. It'll make you feel better. So this week it is the top 5 holiday movies or / TV shows of all time. This is Mark's list. And usually we each do our own, but I was looking over this list before the show and I thought, a lot of these are going to be on my list. I'm not sure about, I think actually all of them would be on my list, to be honest with you.
That's amazing.
But I might reverse the order a little bit.
Sure.
So
all right.
This week we're going to do 5, 4, and 3, and then wrapping up the season next week, we will give you the number 1 movie or TV show, holiday movie or TV show of all time. So number 5 on Mark's list of the top 5 holiday shows of all time.
You got it.
It's
Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman.
So just to give you a little background here.
I love that show. Yeah.
Frosty came to TV as a Christmas special in 1969.
Wow.
It's been playing every year since. And here's what happens for those of you who might not know. I would think most of you would. But if you don't, Karen puts the magic hat on Frosty's head and he comes to life.
Yep.
And realizing Frosty might melt, they realize, we better do something.
Got to get him to the North Pole.
Got to get him to the North Pole.
Yep.
But, Karen, unfortunately, can't handle the freezing cold.
Yeah.
And so Frosty eventually melts, but Santa consoles Karen, saying that Frosty is made of magic and will return every year for Christmas.
Ooh.
Of course, the famous song, Frosty the Snowman. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's a feel good show. I mean, it's a classic.
I guess the question is, did you look forward to seeing this show as a child every year?
I did.
Yeah, so did I.
I did. It was like, it would be like on a Thursday night or something, 8 to 8:30, and then, maybe the next one 9, 8:30 to 9. Yeah, you looked forward to it.
Yeah.
You have to give Frosty his props.
Yeah, I would say Frosty is on my top 5 list, and probably at number 5, because when you look at the remaining 4, I do believe they're better. And that being said, number 4 is something that I waited every year anxiously for this show, every year.
And that would be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yep.
Which, by the way, debuted 5 years earlier than Frosty the Snowman.
64. Wow.
And has played every year since, the longest running TV Christmas special in the United States.
Yeah, I think if they stopped playing it, people would be really upset.
They would.
Yeah.
Now, at first, Rudolph's nose was seen as a major flaw.
Yeah.
Well, as he's different than all the other reindeer.
Yeah. Yep.
But his nose that lights up would save Christmas, as he was able to guide Santa's sleigh through the bad weather and deliver gifts to the children on time.
This is apparently before Santa bought a Mercedes.
That is correct.
Right.
He meets some great friends along the way. Some of my favorites, the misfit elf.
Yes. Yeah.
Who wants to become a dentist.
Yes.
And he is in the land of misfit toys.
I think right after that, the amount of people in dental school exploded.
Yes. Yeah. And while they were in the land of misfit toys, they had to escape the abominable snow monster.
The abominable?
Yep, the abominable snow monster.
Yep, we'll get you.
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
Now, is this Heat Miser, Cold Miser, or is that another?
That's a different
one. Yeah. But yeah, Rudolph, I mean, look, the guy just gets it done.
He does.
The guy gets it done. I mean, you need somebody to get the job done. And look, not everybody's perfect.
Yep.
Sometimes those non-perfect, reindeers or people, they can get the job done. And it's a lesson that all of us can hang our hat on.
Yep. And it also spawned the entire bullying phase of anytime you got a zit on your nose, people called you Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sure. One of the greatest nicknames of all time.
I never experienced that.
Well, not in front of your face.
Not in front of my face, I guess.
Did you see Rudolph over there?
Well, I guess it sounds like you were the bully.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, I was bullied. I guess I was a bully at one point in my life. I think we all were. All right, number 4, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'll give you my arrangement when we're done. Let's move on to the third best Christmas show of all time on Mark's list here on Off the Grid Uncommon Ground, and that would be
A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, I've always been a big Peanuts guy.
Yeah.
I've always loved Charlie Brown. I think everybody can identify with Charlie Brown because everybody's had some point in their life where they basically just felt like
shit.
They felt like crap, and they felt like nobody liked them, and they felt depressed.
Yeah.
And that's Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So
I think there's another reason you identify with Charlie Brown, but we don't have to discuss it right now.
I don't know what this is.
Okay.
So this one debuted in 1965 as well.
Yep.
And I wasn't really aware of this, but the Peanuts crew really became a phenomenon in the 1960s. That's when it really took off. It actually won an Emmy and a Peabody Award. And also, the jazz soundtrack,
close enough. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Sold 5 million copies.
Wow.
So basically what's going on here, for those of you who haven't watched it, which if you haven't, you might want to consider checking yourself into a hospital.
Yeah. I mean, something's wrong with you.
The plot basically is Charlie confesses to Linus that even though it's Christmas, he's still depressed. And so then he has to visit Lucy at her psychiatric booth.
Oh, nice.
And she tells him to direct their neighborhood Christmas play to get involved in the holiday to feel better.
Did Charlie Brown ever give Lucy the nickel that she was demanding for her services?
That I don't know. I don't know if that's a story.
If you gave her a quarter, what kind of services did you get?
I don't know, but Lucy, I think, might have been a little loose.
Yeah.
So next, what happened?
I used to fantasize about Lucy.
Did you? You were a Lucy guy.
Actually, Peppermint Patty, but
Peppermint Patty was a little bit of a tomboy.
I liked tomboys when I was a child.
Okay, I've had enough.
Okay.
Charlie had a little trouble controlling the cast of the Christmas show, and then he decided he needed to find a tree for the Christmas show.
Oh yeah,
and so he picks out the tree that basically looks like a stick.
It looks depressed, like him.
Depressed like him, and Lucy and Peppermint Patty just make fun of him.
Right.
And Charlie,
as they should.
And Charlie gets upset and says, "Don't you know what Christmas is all about?" And to which Linus makes a speech. He puts his blanket around the bottom of the tree.
Yep.
And he makes a speech.
Doesn't he tell he tells the Christmas story, the baby wrapped in waddled in something wrapped in a manger?
I do not know.
Yeah, he tells the story of the three.
Okay.
Yeah, the three wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And all through this, you have to realize is that Charlie Brown is getting just frustrated with the commercialization of Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, like Snoopy had decorated his doghouse and it looked all
perfect,
amazing.
Yeah.
And Snoopy's all like high as a kite about it. Woodstock's like, yeah, we're the best, man. We're the shit. And and then Charlie's just like, that's not what Christmas is about, man.
Yep.
But the bottom line is it comes down to Christmas is less about being perfect and more about spending time with loved ones.
Yeah.
And they all end up singing Christmas songs together.
Yeah, around that shitty Christmas tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How interesting that Charlie Brown was so upset that commercialization of Christmas was just too much.
Right.
And then it becomes
60s.
One of the most commercialized, characters.
That was in the 60s when
ever.
It probably wasn't that commercialized.
Yeah. I mean,
compared to now.
Yeah. I don't even recognize Christmas now. I don't even feel like it's here.
Yeah. I feel like Christmas is year round now.
It pretty much is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. You know what? On the Amazon trucks now, I think it says Amazon Prime because Christmas is now.
Right.
All right, number 5, number 4, and number 3, the only lists that matter, the top 5 greatest holiday movies or TV shows. So far, the top 3 have been TV shows. Frosty the Snowman, number 5, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, number 4, and Charlie Brown Christmas, number 3. We're going to go number 2 and number 1 in our next episode. But so far it's just TV shows. You know what I loved about the Rudolph characters? They were those claymation type figures or whatever they were. I loved that.
Did you?
Yeah. I like those more than the cartoons. Like Frosty was a cartoon, and Charlie Brown was a cartoon. But the Rudolph, I liked the fact that
it was pretty cool.
They move them and take a picture, move them and take a picture. I mean, my God, what the effort,
a lot of work,
the effort it takes. Okay. Those were the only lists that matter. Here we are in Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground, season 4, episode 7. We're going to move on to Stream Sauce. Schwaber.
No, what about the order though? Were you happy with the order?
Well, I want to reserve it until we get to number 1.
We get to, okay,
yeah, those 3, 100% in my top, no doubt in top 10, pretty much in top 5. Only one, maybe not, is Frosty, but Frosty would have ended up at number 6.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep, I hear you.
But I don't even know why. So I would say, but order wise, we'll get to that when we get down to number 1.
Okay.
So Stream Sauce. What is Stream Sauce? Well, there's billions of things to watch nowadays. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, with speaking of the list we just talked about, that was also the only thing on.
Right. Exactly. It was channel 3, channel 6, channel 10,
PBS,
48,
whatever that was.
ABC, NBC, CBS, a few other things. So that was it.
When Frosty came on, I think Frosty was on ABC. They changed networks over the years, but CBS and NBC, they would play a rerun of something because they knew everybody was going to be watching Frosty.
Right.
Now they have no idea.
Right.
So you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon, you've got Hulu, you've got Prime, not Prime, Max, you've got
you got
Paramount
Prime too.
Plus,
Amazon Prime too.
Prime.
Yep.
You've got Freebie.
Yep.
You've got Sololamo.
You got Peacock, the cock.
You got the cock. You got you got Frankie. I'm just making it up. I mean, you pick a word, and there is a streaming service aligned with it.
There is, but you know what you need to do?
What do you
if you really want to find a good program, you got to make yourself some stream sauce.
That's right. You do.
And so when I start off, putting together my pot, I start off with a little bit of celery, a little bit of chicken broth.
Oh, really?
What would you put in?
I would probably add some onions and some carrots so now you're at a mirepoix.
Okay.
You put the mirepoix in celery, onions, and carrots.
Is that what a mirepoix is?
Yeah, it's a mirepoix.
Okay, sure. Yeah. How about a little green onion as well?
Yeah.
Some scallions.
Yeah, some scallions in there.
Yeah. Put that in there. Maybe throw in maybe add a dash of Worcestershire sauce.
Okay. All right.
So what do you got? Stream sauce.
Yes. So what it is, we pick a couple things that we're watching. We have to watch the entire season that we're watching or the entire movie, and we do it for you. We tell you if you should watch it. We tell you if you shouldn't watch it. We tell you if it's and then maybe you make up your own mind. But trust me, we've watched a lot of shit, and we know what we're talking about.
We do.
We'll start with Mark's this week. I actually have to find it here. I thought I had it up here. Oh, here it is. Yes, I want to watch this really bad.
Yeah, The Lioness.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus, which they have some sort of agreement, I guess, with Showtime now. So I was able to watch it on Showtime because I don't actually have Paramount Plus.
Nice.
Which is really good. So, I mean, the bottom line is with this one, so it's 2 seasons.
Yep. Who's it starring? Nicole Kidman, right? Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, Zoe Saldana is probably the biggest starring role in it. Per se.
Okay.
And she basically leads a CIA operations team.
Right.
That's working, against the war on terror. And the whole idea of the Lioness program, that the Lioness program in real life is actually getting military women to do searches of, basically Muslim folks of interest.
Right.
In the Middle East.
Right.
And they kind of extend it further here by this Lioness program is about taking women from various parts of the military and, creating them into a spy that is going to embed themselves within the family of somebody that's on their kill list.
So are they like a honeypot?
What does that mean?
Like they get in there and they have sex with their victim? They create a love interest.
Yeah, they could.
That's called a honeypot.
They could. Yeah. I mean, one of them.
You don't know what a honeypot is, Schwab? Come on.
No,
we spent our entire college days trying to get honeypots.
I never heard honeypot.
You never heard that?
I don't know what's going on.
Watch more spy shows.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, for example, in the first season, her job is to become a friend of the daughter of, one of basically the biggest financier of the war on terror,
right?
In the Middle East, right?
Right.
So you've got Zoe Saldana, you've got Nicole Kidman, is basically the highest ranking CIA official.
Yep.
And Zoe Saldana's boss. You've got Morgan Freeman. He plays the Secretary of State.
Of course he does.
You've got Mike Kelly. I have to tell you, this Mike Kelly is kind of like an under the radar.
Yeah. Was he in House of Cards?
I'm not sure. What I know him
is
from.
Is he the bald guy?
Yeah, he's the bald guy.
He was House of Cards. He was Frank. What's his name? Kevin Spacey's assistant who did a lot of his dirty work. He's really good.
He also played a big role in the one with the guy from The Office. That's
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Yep.
He played a big one in there. So he's the CIA deputy director.
Yeah, he's a total under the radar actor.
Yeah, and then the other woman that you see in this picture, her name is Leila de Oliveira, and she is I guess she's the new one because I hadn't seen her before in anything else, but she's basically the one who's supposed to get close to the daughter of the terrorist arms dealer.
Right.
And so that's basically season 1, and then season 2. They're trying to get to a Mexican cartel boss through basically like the CFO of the cartel.
Right. Okay.
You know, so yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I mean, each season is like 10 episodes. And it's, you know, it's a lot of action, and it's very well done. You know, you get to see a lot of interesting stuff. I'm sure you would love it too, because you know, you get to see a lot of it. Like, it's interesting. Like, they'll kind of talk about behind the scenes, like, do we really want to kill this guy who is, you know, the main financier of, you know, the war on terror, because we do at least know what we can expect of him.
Right.
And we don't know what we can expect of who might come next.
Right. It's, you know, always like a problem.
Stuff like that. And of course, a lot of it has to deal with money. Right?
Yeah.
Who trades, you know, the aftermarket trading?
Yeah.
Who does the aftermarket trading?
Yeah.
You know,
because they know what's coming.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
It's pretty neat.
Well, and I have a huge crush on Nicole Kidman. I mean, good God, is she beautiful?
She is.
Yeah. And a great actor.
She really, well. I mean, she's good in everything. Yeah. Isn't she?
Yeah. I definitely, if Nicole, if you're watching or listening, I want you to understand, I think you are a fine actor and a very talented individual who happens to be just stunningly gorgeous. Can't help myself. My wife knows, though. It's okay.
Yeah.
She knows how.
I mean, and you have zero chance.
Yeah. I know.
She's married to Keith Urban.
I mean, for God's sake.
Right. You know?
And he's pretty ugly, you know.
Right, so, exactly.
And not too talented himself.
No talent.
Okay, now on for Stream Sauce for me, I am going to actually have to bring this in because I thought I brought it in earlier, and let's just see if it shows up here. Here we go.
Is it going to be a documentary?
No. This is something that I'm finished watching recently.
Disclaimer.
And it's Disclaimer on Apple TV Plus. Stars Cate Blanchett, Kevin Kline, and it's pretty good. It's an intriguing story, and it's brand new on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
It's an intriguing story of like a Pulitzer Prize type winning journalist in Britain who was played by Cate Blanchett. Who wins, these accolades, and then a book is written and kind of just shows up. It's like self-published, and this book it is intimated. It doesn't use her name, but it's the story of a young woman with a toddler who's on the beach on a vacation in Italy, and her husband, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, by the way, who's got chops as an actor.
Mm-hmm. He does, yeah,
he really does. Has to leave because there's some sort of business emergency. He's got to go back to England, and she's there. And while she's there, she meets this younger man, this guy who's like 19, and they indulge in like a 3-day, really steamy love affair.
Whoa.
And
okay.
So then something tragic happens, and she's involved in it. I don't want to give that away because it's a huge part of the story, but this book comes into play, and next thing you know, everybody's starting to realize that she is the character in the book. It's a true story about her, and she is the one that had the affair, and she's the one involved in this tragedy, and it's gonna bring her marriage down, and she now has a son who's got his own issues, and Kevin Kline plays the father of the boy that she had the affair with, and he's got it out for her. You know what I mean? He wants to get his revenge.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty good. It's like 6 or 7 episodes, only one season, because,
Is it a one season, that's it kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a one season, that's it. The woman who plays a younger Cate Blanchett, let me tell you, there's some steamy scenes in this. If you like steamy scenes,
steamy sex.
I mean, like, you're talking like, can't believe you're watching it.
Woo.
Yeah. So if you like that, it's worth the first 3 episodes. After that, it kind of
like Tell Me Lies level sex.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant the show.
I know the show. Yeah. But probably much more graphic and better.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you about that one, but it's worth it. The Disclaimer on Apple TV Plus. All right, moving on. This is interesting. Mark is going to go to dinner.
Yes.
And he's got a choice.
Yes, I've made a choice. You have a choice as to who you are going to attend dinner with, where obviously you could ask them any questions you want and you will get truthful answers.
Yes.
So the choices are A, Jesus,
Jesus,
or B, Michael Jackson. And if you are looking online with us, you would actually see they both are in a very familiar pose.
Yes.
Praising to the heavens.
Arms outraised.
I think Jesus is more saying, good things come upon thee all. And Michael Jackson.
You've obviously been to church.
And Michael Jackson is saying, I'm the greatest in the world.
Hey, no, he's saying,
right? He's saying,
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh.
So, all right. So,
who would
I guess I'll take it first. I think I'm having dinner with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna make it really easy for you.
I wanna know, what is true and what is not true about what goes on at Neverland.
Yeah, well, I wonder why they call it Neverland.
right.
We never tell.
And I'd like to hear some stories. Like, I'm interested. Like, did he ever actually have a relationship? Like, did he ever, make out with Brooke Shields or Diana Ross or whatever?
Know that?
Yeah,
I think those are easy answers. I think the answer is no.
Well, it probably is, but maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't know.
I think Michael was about as asexual as you could be.
Probably.
Although there are a lot of people that think some weird things went on, with those kids.
Right.
And God bless them. I hope that's not true.
We hope not.
Yeah. I don't know.
But isn't it interesting, though, that because he's the king of pop, and I guess because so much of his music is so good, and obviously he's been dead for a while now.
Yeah.
But it's nobody really even talks about the stuff with the kids anymore. It's all just Michael Jackson was a legend. It's barely talked about.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Nobody
says Hitler was a legend.
Right. you know what I mean? Or think about Cosby is completely disgraced. Right.
Yeah.
Although that is kind of drugging women.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which is terrible.
Let's see, drugging women or pedophilia.
I mean, they're both pretty damn bad.
Which one's worse?
Yeah, they're both pretty damn bad, right?
Bad. Yeah.
Right. So, but why is it that Cosby is ostracized from society, but Michael Jackson is still Michael Jackson?
Because he's dead. That's what I think.
You think so? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, my kids have kind of a skew. I think people have a skewed view of him. They do. It's just that because he's dead and they kind of, the whole deal was quote unquote settled in court. It's kind of it's interesting actually you bring this up because believe it or not, before this show, before you got me your notes for the show today, a couple days ago, I was literally thinking about this and I was thinking to myself, just because Michael Jackson, let's assume that he did have a thing for little boys.
Okay.
Let's assume that because not everybody that accuses is telling the truth and not everybody that accuses is lying.
Right.
Either.
Exactly.
I mean, there is some truth. This shit happens.
Right.
Let's say that it happened. Let's assume let's assume the worst happened. Just assume the worst. It doesn't change the fact that he was incredibly talented, artistic, and his music is ridiculously good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It can change your viewpoint of it. You can say, oh my God, I can't ever listen to another Michael Jackson song again. No, of course you can't. I get it. But at the same time, look at his body of work. Ridiculously good.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't even really a Michael Jackson fan growing up, but as I'm older, this all came about because I was listening to, what's that song? Make a Change. Man in the Mirror. It just happened to come on my iTunes.
Gonna make a change.
Yeah, exactly.
For once in your life.
And I'm thinking about it. Is he talking about himself? I'm talking about the man in the mirror. I got to stop, doodling these little boys.
Right.
So anyway, but back to your point here. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think I'd want to have dinner with either one of these guys.
Well,
I don't want to know what Jesus knows.
Well, isn't it kind of interesting though that we're both so quick to just totally dismiss Jesus?
Well, it's not. That's for Steve. That's for Hockey
Right,
Jesus. Right.
Like, I mean, there could be a lot of great questions. Like, hey, is this whole God thing real?
Yeah, right. That's a huge question.
It's a huge question.
But
right?
I just don't think I have any interest in having dinner with Jesus. But you know what? If I was actually given the opportunity for real, I'm pretty sure it'd be like, well, you better. You know, like that would be what I'm thinking. So from that context, I'd say Jesus, because who can send me to hell if I decline their invitation? Michael Jackson back from the grave. Hey, Chris, you want to come to dinner with me? No, thanks, Michael. You're going to hell. Or Jesus, would thou like to come to dinner with me? No, thanks, Jesus. Good luck. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm going to say Jesus just based on that.
Okay. All right. You change your mind.
All right.
See, we talked it out and you changed your mind.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of people you don't want to do anything or you don't like, here's a musician I've never liked. This is Mark's. I have one too. I just don't have a picture. I don't know why. And why are we doing this? Why is this like a musician I've never liked? Why did you come up with this? Because it's like somebody who's so popular that like, everybody likes them, but like, you don't.
Right. And it's like, why? Why do they like him?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Okay. All right.
Somebody please help me.
We'll put your guy up here.
So my guy.
I mean, I'd be scared of him if I saw him at like a mini mart.
Gorgeous guy.
Yeah.
Post Malone.
Yeah.
Now, do you even know who he is?
I know who he is, but I wouldn't be, you know me, I'm stuck in the 1990s.
Right. So like Post Malone, right? So here's the deal with Post Malone. You know, he gained acclaim for blending a lot of genres. So he does hip hop, mixes it with pop, R&B, and country, right?
Right.
This guy has sold 80 million records. Okay, so he's one of the best-selling artists of all time. He's got 10 Billboard Music Awards. He's got 3 American Music Awards and 9 Grammy nominations.
Right.
Okay. He holds the record. I didn't even know this existed. I guess this is a new thing now. He holds the record with the most diamond certified songs to his name. With 9.
That must be something streaming.
I guess it's like more than platinum or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you know, look, you know, he does a lot with like the auto tune and that kind of stuff. Right. And it's, you know, so look, I'm interested, you know, like if there's a new artist that a lot of people think is great, I'm interested. Let's find out. So, you know, I go to iTunes, right?
Yeah.
And I probably go through like the top 5 most downloaded songs of his, right?
Right.
And I gotta be honest with you, man, like nothing, man. Like
you didn't like any of them.
2 of them were, I would say, okay at best.
Wow.
Now, like his very biggest song is a song called Rockstar,
right?
Which is probably the only song that, like, if I played it for you, you might know,
right?
And it's just okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like this guy kind of falls under the category of, like, well, first of all, I didn't even buy that song. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But if I did, it would be like I'd buy one song of his. So it's like I had something in the library.
Right.
But if it came on, I would definitely hit next for the shuffle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so it just amazes me. Like if his 5 best songs, I'm like, one of them is okay. How does he get this big? I just don't get it.
All right.
I just don't get it.
I don't know.
Like we were just talking about Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
You know, like, look, I mean, you cannot, if you didn't like pop, if you didn't like R&B, but maybe you heard the song Beat It, right?
Yeah.
Like probably 7 out of 10 people would like that song.
Just thinking back in my life, I feel like 10 out of 10 people like that song.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like, but with this, that does not happen.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand it.
Post Malone.
How did it happen? How did it happen?
Okay. Here's a musician I've never liked. And it's very interesting because I'm just going to put his name up there. Bruce Springsteen.
Interesting.
Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Frederick Joseph Springsteen. 21 studio albums during a career spanning 6 decades. I think everybody knows who Bruce Springsteen is.
Sure, everybody.
All kinds of awards, all kinds of songs, just downright American music.
Born in the USA.
Born in the USA, the album. I mean, I just, what's funny is like, I like this, the song he sang for the movie Philadelphia, Streets of Philadelphia.
Streets of Philadelphia.
Exactly. I thought that was a great song.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of his music, but after like 3 or 4 songs,
right,
I swear to God, he's playing the same song over and over again. And I don't like him. I think his look is bad. I think I just
very, this is an interesting choice. Yeah. Now, I will say this. I had a period of time where I would say I liked Bruce Springsteen.
Right. I never had an album of his.
But here's the thing. Now, if you're going to compare, like, to me, there's 2 guys who like make up like all America music, and it's Bruce Springsteen and John Cougar Mellencamp.
Right.
And I've always thought that John Cougar Mellencamp was way better.
Better. Yeah, definitely.
Way better.
100% better.
But the world would tell you differently.
They would.
And, the thing about Bruce is, and then it was, I guess the time that I sort of liked him was maybe like, senior year of high school. So this is like late 80s, early 90s, right?
Right.
And then you had all these people who like, went to all these Bruce concerts, right? Yeah. How many concerts have you been to? I've been to 8, all this kind of shit, right? And so, then I went to one and I was like, I don't think it's that good.
Right. Right.
And it was just like a total disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, and here was the thing. Everyone was, are you a Bruce virgin? Are you a Bruce virgin?
Nice.
It's your first concert. I'm thinking this is going to be something spectacular.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was okay.
It was just a band.
It was okay.
It was any band you could see in a college bar.
Well, and was the other thing I kind of didn't like about it. He gets this reputation because he sings for a long time.
Right.
Hours and hours.
Yeah.
But what they don't tell you about, at least this is what it was back in like early 1990s. What they don't tell you about is that he takes a half an hour break in the middle.
Yeah, right.
It's like he goes for like an hour and a half, takes a half an hour break.
Yeah.
It's like an intermission.
Yeah.
And then you come back for another hour and a half. And I was just like,
what are we going to do?
It really kind of like blew the mood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't like it. I don't know. He just, look, I realize he's got lots of talent and he does have some good songs that I like. But, again, it's one of those guys where, he was popular when we had tapes.
Yes.
Okay.
Albums.
Tapes and maybe a little into CDs, but really tapes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then, what happens is when you go into the iTunes generation, you end up, buying stuff on iTunes that you bought originally on tape or CD or stuff like that. And I think I went back and tried and I think I might have 2 Bruce songs.
Yeah, I have none. Yeah.
I think I have 2. It's that's all I could come up with.
Yeah. If I hear a Bruce song that I like, I'm happy I heard it, but I don't need to hear it again. It can be totally random. But
right.
I just don't like him.
Yeah.
I just don't like him.
Yeah.
Okay, roll them up. Roll them up. These are songs you love but are embarrassed to listen to in the car with the windows down. And Mark's got one for us. So you're telling me you like this song. And if you're out on the road, you got the windows down. It's a beautiful, warm fall day, spring day. You're just singing like crazy, and you pull up to a stoplight and you roll them up to
"What's Up" by 4 Non Blondes. And I pray, oh my God, do I pray? I pray for second thing, for a revolution.
You know what? I wouldn't roll it. I think this song is good enough that I wouldn't roll up my window. I'd leave it on.
It's a good song, and
you're really embarrassed if you love it that much?
It's so embarrassing because it's a chick song.
I know
it's a chick song. How sometimes songs just take you back to certain things.
Yeah,
and it just took me back. I had this friend Lissa that I went to high school with, and she had a younger sister named Brooke, and this girl Brooke was just blasting this song like every chance she got, you know. And it was just like, and it was just like, you know, what's going on?
Yeah, you know what comes to mind for me is an Alanis Morissette song. You ought to know,
right?
That one's kind of yeah, and I swear. Anyway, yeah. So,
but yeah, it's just a chick song. Like, so, you know, like if you got the windows down and like somebody like pulls up and they're like in a pickup truck, like you can't be blasting this.
No,
it's embarrassing.
Yeah, you might get shot.
It's embarrassing.
All right, Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground, Season 4, Episode 7. We're winding it down with something that we like to do here. It's called How Much Money Would It Take for You to, and it's to do something we would consider crazy. Not everybody considers everything crazy, but Mark picked this one for us. What are we looking at here? And is that a plane associated with a watch?
Yes. No,
a Breitling?
This, I guess it is, but yeah, this is an actual thing. Okay. It's called wing walking.
Right.
All right. And this is what I think is just so interesting about it. Okay. What's interesting about it is you are 100% strapped in.
Right.
Okay. So with the notion that the strap is going to hold.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's the intention.
That's the intention. Like you're basically guaranteed, like you're going to survive this.
Right.
You're going to survive this, but you've got to basically be on top of a wing of a biplane, and you got to go through climbs and dives and banks and loops, and you got to make it through a 10-minute flight.
Now, this is something people actually do pay for.
This is something that people pay to do this. It's like a thrill seeker thing. Right.
Yeah, but we want to be paid.
Right. So the question is, how much would it take for you to do this?
Well, I mean, this is all risk reward. I feel like this is kind of like if you would parachute, you know, it's a little more iffy, you know, because you're attached to the plane while it does all these aerobatic moves, acrobatic moves. And I don't ever want to jump out of a plane.
No.
And if it's to the point where I have to, I'm just going down with the ship, you know. How much money would it make? I'd say $250,000.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
Well, I mean, the notion is they're strapping you in.
Wow. See, now here's my thought.
We always do this. You know, we always do. You're always like, only that amount?
I do it for $5 million.
Holy shit.
$5 million.
Well, you're not going to find anybody to pay you $5 million.
And what I'm going to do, well, no, I'm making this up, so I can.
I know.
What I'm going to do, honestly, I'm going to close my eyes through the whole thing.
Oh,
I'm not even going to look.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to fucking look.
Yeah.
I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm going to survive it. And it's going to basically be like sort of like being on a roller coaster.
You're going to be $5 million, like $5 million, $5 million, $5 million.
Yep. And I'm going to ride it out like that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it. Yeah. You know, maybe keep my eyes open for like the takeoff or something.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it, you know, but would I do it for less than that? No. I mean, because
$250,000. I mean, you're strapped in. It's 10 minutes.
But
$25,000 a minute.
$250,000 is nothing, though.
Yeah, that's true.
With the risk of dying.
Yeah. Well, if you die, it doesn't matter if they promised you $1 billion. You know, you don't get to spend it.
Well, but if you die, it'll be probably a very painful and scary death.
Still, you don't
when you realize that you're falling to the ground with no parachute, and your head's going to splatter against the asphalt.
You still can't spend the money, though, Schwaber.
Yep.
No.
Okay. So you still can't. You'll take $250,000. I went $5 million.
Yeah. Well, you are a much more expensive thrill seeker.
Well, I think I'm making more sense here. Like, I want to be able to live off this money here, not just, go out and buy a nice car.
Yeah.
I don't need a Bentley, I mean, help me get through a few years.
Yeah. I just want to be happy.
All right.
All right, there you have it. This is season 4, episode 7 of Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground. We are finished for now. Please subscribe to the podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can visit us on YouTube, Facebook, and we'll be back next week to finish out our list of the top 5 holiday TV shows / movies of all time.
One more show to go.
And finish out season 4 for the Grand Schwabini. I am your technical director, We are out.
Goodbye.
Later.